PT is something at the Academy that starts in week 1. It doesn't stop until 2 weeks before the Academy is over. We have our first assessment on day 2. We have a midterm assessment where we can gauge how much they've progressed since the first assessment. And then we have our final examination, and that last one is an examination. And it's 2 weeks before graduation. There are recruits who don't pass the first assessment, they don't pass the second assessment, and then they get to the final and they fail. After they fail, they get a retake.
If the recruit fails to pass that retake, then they are dismissed from the academy. It's hard to see because they just put in 23 weeks, they've passed everything, they're about to graduate, but if they can't pass that PT test, they're dismissed.
Seconds matter, so more than ever.
Showing up that day, I had the nervous sweats. I was like going, and as soon as you get going on the track, that first lap, your adrenaline's going, you run so fast, and then you just get in the zone and count your 29 laps over and over again.
I shocked myself, I'll say that. I was pretty excited that I passed the final. It was a big stress relief.
After I got injured last class and then failed the PT final and had to repeat all of this, there was kind of that fear that was going to happen again. Mentally, that was a big day for me. And I think I was the only person who Officer Sturr told their time to. As soon as I crossed the finish line, he told me my finish time so I could start celebrating right there on the track and know that I'd finally crossed that last big hurdle to get to where I was going.
The post-test is the Missouri Peace Officer Test, what we have to pass to be police officers in the state of Missouri.
This is your state post-exam. So this is the culmination of 6 months of training here at the Academy.
They have a lot of anxiety about that test because at this point they have passed every single test that the Academy has for them. And they can see that light at the end of the tunnel, which is graduation.
For everyone who told us about it, they said that as long as you've been doing well and understanding what's been taught to you, if you can't pass that, you should not be out there.
When I actually saw the post-test, I was like, oh, we've learned these. Like, even if this was like months ago, we learned it.
200 questions is ridiculously long. By 150, I'm like second guessing every question. Before this, I wasn't seeing straight. I was ready to be done. And then I seen that pass score and I knew at that point I was an officer.
Congratulations, you all passed post. Outside of something catastrophic, you should all walk across the stage on Thursday. So, congratulations.
All right, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Assignment day is for the county recruits. There's 8 precincts in St. Louis County, and the recruits don't know where they're going to be assigned.
So Lieutenant Colonel Cox came in. He had a list with our names on it and our precinct assignments.
Jake Braymiller, North County Precinct.
So I was excited. My dad's assigned in Jennings right now, so obviously I can't work in the same precinct he is in. But being in the first, I'll still be able to get close to him, and he's going to be listening to my radio. I'll be listening to his and make sure he's good. He'll make sure I'm good, and probably meet up sometimes.
Anna Fields.
Field, sir.
West County Precinct, 7th Precinct.
I thought I'd get a more active precinct because I'm fresh out of the academy, but then I thought about it and I talked a lot with other mentors, and they were like, you're gonna see all your cases through and just all the positives, and now I'm like so excited. I won't have a lot of cases or a lot of calls, but I'll be able to fill my time with community outreach and talking to people and my social skills and tickets.
I hope you guys have a plan in your brain on what type of officer you're gonna be when you get out there on the street.
Face the fence, please. When I say go, you're going to turn around and you're going to address whatever's behind you. Go. Get back. Red, 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 red. Simunition is basically paintball that is fired through your actual shooting platform, so the actual gun that your department uses, and it's propelled by a little bit of gunpowder. It gives you a physical reaction. It lets you know you're alive when you get shot by the stuff. And if you add that little bit of pain response to things, everybody will make a different decision.
I am the instructor that is responsible for our Simunitions training. That day of training is a full 8-hour day. We outfit all the recruits with masks and all the protective gear that they need. The environment or the experience is a lot different than any other role play, because in none of the other role plays do they wear any of this protective gear. So their level of anxiety is already a little bit higher.
Hey, is it okay if we approach it?
Sure.
They have Simunitions guns now that they know work and they can shoot, but also, you know, there's a little bit of anticipation about being shot if you don't do the right thing. We put them through 4 different scenarios over the course of the day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. They get dispatched to a call, they have to make the right decision.
The sound of a sim gun will probably forever be in my nightmares. Like, looks like a real gun, it shoots like a real gun, it sounds like a real gun, pointed at you, and then you get shot, it stings, so it just puts that realization that it's real.
For Simunitions training, we wear essentially a paintball mask, but it covers your entire head, so you can't hear very well. It fogs up very quickly, so you can't see anything, especially once you start breathing really hard.
If you try to speak in there, you have to give loud commands. That's very useful though, because it teaches you to use your voice.
You're essentially blind going through it. You can see vague shapes and shadows, which kind of just adds to the intimidation of it.
Every time we put the sim helmets on, I was like, oh, what's gonna happen?
The traffic stop scenario on the track is a Simunition scenario where if they allow it to escalate into a violent encounter, then the role players are told to do just that, escalate it.
They have to get out of their car and go contact the people in the vehicle who are arguing. If they didn't do a good check on that vehicle as they were walking by, then the rear hatch of that vehicle opens up, somebody hops out with a gun and starts firing at both recruits. Checks and balances. We teach these guys certain things for a reason, and in that scenario, we give them something that is not likely to happen to you, but it's not unrealistic either, because it has happened before.
The whole entire van was shaking, and there was a lot of movement in there. I was like, show me your hands, put your hands out the window, and they wouldn't do it. At that point, it was like, Clemens, let's go back to our car, and we pull our guns out, and we just order them out, and just did a felony car stop. Even Officer Moore afterwards, he's like, it wasn't wrong, but as long as you can articulate why you did what you did, you just pretty much saved your own life doing that, because a lot of other groups got shot during that scenario.
Was a felony stop on this warranted?
No.
Okay, well, but you did one though, because...
Just based on how they were acting, they weren't showing me their hands.
Okay.
And then I felt more comfortable making them come to me instead of me going to them.
All right, very good. You made them get out, you gave them directions, very good.
We went back in there, like, how was it? I was like, oh, it wasn't too bad, as long as you remember what you learned during the academy. And then the other groups come in with, you know, paint all over them, like, what scenario did you just come from?
It really goes to show you how fast those things can turn sideways. You have to know what you're doing, you have to be paying attention. You know, when you see something as seemingly minute as the trunk being slightly open, don't look past it.
So it was set up to be an ambush situation, and honestly, it was a really good lesson to learn.
Face the wall right here. There you go.
The 21-foot scenario was, I think, voted by us the scariest scenario that we've done.
When I say go, you're gonna turn around, you're gonna address whatever's going on behind you.
You just face a brick wall, and then he goes, when you turn around, there's gonna be somebody, and you gotta deal with it.
Whoa, red.
21 feet's like that minimum distance you need to be able to kind of make a decision and react. The individual took maybe like 3 steps, and they're right there. It all happens very quickly.
Shots were almost...
You turn around, you try to identify the threat, and you have to act like in seconds. Just 1 second of delay, one second of trying to figure things out can cost you your life.
Red. Get off the X means get out of that place. In that case, the guy with the knife was running at the place that you were standing. If you get off the X, you get out of the way and create additional space between you and the threat.
Drop the knife!
It's a lot going on at once, and you kind of get to see who you are in the moment. Do you fight, freeze, or do you flight? You know, do you take off running? So I think we all kind of figured out who we were. I'm a fighter. I shot him. Very scary.
Yes, extra patrol, walk through the park, just want to talk to people, see how they're doing.
You're on like an extra patrol in a park, and you roll up on this guy he claims to be an undercover cop, and you see him shoot somebody who I think he said robbed him or tried to rob him or something.
Fields and I just stay back, and we actually take cover behind the 2 trees. That's when the suspect pulls out a badge. I think he's like, I'm a cop, it's okay. And Fields and I, we didn't believe him. So we actually ordered him back. So we made him lift his shirt up so we can see his waistband and turn around. Kind of like a felony car stop style, just order him walk backwards, and we brought him all the way back to us. And then we're gonna put handcuffs on him.
and then we just search the person and make sure if it's a real police officer or what was the circumstances that led to him shooting this individual.
In that case, you're supposed to get the undercover cop to drop his gun and identify himself. We didn't do that. I ended up shooting the undercover cop. My partner got shot. It was kind of a mess, but yeah.
Prior to the ceremony, when they're pulling out those police uniforms and they're putting them on for the first time, and you can feel that sense of camaraderie that they have acquired over the last 6 months.
As a little girl, I was like, I want to be like them, and now I'm them.